Hello and welcome back to the Chronicles of a Gooner, the Arsenal podcast brought to you by the last man standing with loserpool.com. As ever, I'm your host, Harry Symeou. And on this very special edition, we don't normally do Europa League preview shows, but we're going to do one this time because we are traveling to Greece on Thursday night to take on the Greek giants Olympiacos. And I thought nobody better to give us some insight on the Greek side than Kostas Lianos, sports journalist and Olympiacos fan. Welcome back to the show, mate. How are you?
Hi, Harry. Great to be back. I'm great. How are you?
Not too bad, my friend. Not too bad. Looking forward to my trip to Greece. Any excuse to get out there. So looking forward to it. Hoping that you're going to tell us that Arsenal are going to have no trouble with Olympiacos, but I don't think that's going to be the case. How's Olympiacos' season gone so far for those that don't follow Greek football?
So Olympiacos are top of the league right now. They are undefeated so far in the league. They've been doing. They've been very consistent, very dominant. They are 3 points ahead of PAOK, who last season won the league undefeated. This year they've lost twice. One thing I do really need to point out for our Arsenal fans is that we have our manager, Pedro Martins, has put together a rather impressive job at Olympiacos because, as I said, Olympiacos are top of the league right now, undefeated, in the Greek Cup semifinals, and in the round of 32 in the Europa League, even though Martins has had a lot of issues this year because in the preseason, he lost his best player, Kostas Fortounis, to a cruciate ligament injury that kept him out for half the season, reminding that Fortounis was doing so well, he was being targeted by West Ham before they got Fornals. Mathieu Valbuena then got injured as well and missed some important matches. He also missed his best midfielder, Guilherme, to an injury for a month. And he kept Olympiacos alive in all of its goals this season. So I mean, if that's not impressive, but if that doesn't impress anyone, then personally I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, I watched Olympiacos pretty closely when they played against Tottenham in the Champions League earlier on this season, and I was really impressed by them in both legs, actually. And so we know, I was just joking at the top of the show, but we know that we're in for a difficult test. We know that the atmosphere over there is going to be incredible as well. But how much of a blow is it that Podence has moved on? Because he was a player that caught my eye in those games against Spurs and a player who I was worried about coming up against, but he's since moved to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Has that affected Olympiacos as much as people expected?
As I said, Pedro Martins has done a rather impressive job, despite all the unfortunate incidents he has had. The most recent of them is that he lost Hilal Soudani to an injury that's going to keep him out of the season, and that out of the rest of the season, and that will leave Olympiacos with only one striker in the Europa League. If anything happens to Youssef El Arabi, we're out of strikers. That's it, and we can't change it. You can't change the Europa League squad. Another unfortunate incident is that we lost Daniel Podence. Daniel Podence has been instrumental for Olympiacos the past season and a half, because he was basically the one player who unlocked all the difficult defenses we have ever faced. Podence was instrumental against Tottenham in Greece. The comeback was all down to Podence, and that was basically the match when Wolves started to keep an eye on him, as did other teams, including Arsenal. So we're definitely going to miss him, especially when we go up against Arsenal's defense, which, as we know, has been rather turbulent this season, having conceded 34 Premier League goals in 26 matches. So, yeah, I mean, in my opinion, Arsenal should count themselves lucky that they won't have to deal with Podence on Thursday and the return fixture.
In terms of the way Olympiacos set up, what are we expecting formation-wise? And, is there a set system that Pedro Martins plays with on a weekly basis?
Yeah, as I said, again, because of all the injuries Pedro Martins has dealt with this season, losing his best player, losing his most experienced player, losing his best midfielder. At some point, he even lost his best centre-back, Ruben Semedo. Uh, Olympiacos' preferred system, Pedro Martin's preferred system, but mainly Olympiacos' preferred system ever since Ernesto Valverde's days, is the 4-2-3-1 formation. Olympiacos likes to play with a number 10, and with the presence of Fortounis, who's back from injury, the preferred system is 4-2-3-1. But with all the recent injuries, Olympiacos are going to go down with a 4-3-3 formation. Pedro Martins is going to put special focus in midfield so that he can suffocate Arsenal's play as much as possible. This allow Arsenal to make any counterattacks. So the main game is going to be in midfield. Olympiacos are going to try to control possession, dominate the pace, get the ball to El Arabi up front, who, as we know, is very, very dangerous. He has scored 22 goals in 33 matches in total this season, 3 goals in 6 Champions League matches, and we're going to hope to have a big match from Ruben Semedo, the star centre back, who's going to be going up against the likes of Alexandre Lacazette and especially Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And we're going to hope on a very big match from Kostas Fortounis, which, as we know, is back from cruciate ligament injury. He scored a goal against Panionios, and we are going to hope to have a big match out of him. And, of course, Youssef El Arabi, the top scorer, and Mathieu Valbuena, the most experienced player in the team, who has been rather impressive and earned himself a new contract at Olympiacos.
Brilliant stuff. Konstantinos, the atmosphere in the Yorgos Karaiskakis Stadium is always brilliant, isn't it? It's always incredible. What can the traveling fans expect in terms of the reception that they're going to receive? Is it going to be hostile? Is it going to be everything we expect in terms of, are we going to see flares? Are we going to hear drums? Are we going to see Greek football at its finest?
Well, you're definitely not going to see flares or anything like that because of the UEFA rules, which are extremely strict. I don't think. Personally, I mean, we all know that it's season ticket holders who are going to go to the away end. So we're going to have passionate fans who have been to the Karaiskakis Stadium the last 4 times. So nothing that they cannot nothing that those fans cannot expect, if I'm being honest. As for the rest of the fans, it's going to be very loud. There's going to be a lot of drums. It's going to be hostile in terms of how loud the fans are going to be. It's going to be passionate. There's going to be a lot of tension. The Karaiskakis effect will come into play in this match. Personally, if I'm being honest, Olympiacos' crowd is always the 12th player, as we like to call them. In my opinion, Olympiacos have very good chances of scoring a goal, of scoring at least 1 goal in this match. Reminding that Olympiacos have scored 50 goals in 24 league matches and have only conceded 9 goals in total. And they also did rather well in the Champions League, as in a difficult group against Bayern, Tottenham, and Red Star Belgrade. They scored 8 goals but conceded 14. Personally, the way I see it, I find it really hard to believe Olympiacos won't score a goal. And Arsenal, on the other hand, though, have a very good chance of getting the away goal. So obviously, we are not underestimating Arsenal. Arsenal should not underestimate Olympiacos. Arsenal could indeed get a result in Greece, but Olympiacos are a rather strong side at home. The away match, the return fixture at the Emirates could be rather dramatic, but I'm considering Arsenal to be the favourites by a short margin.
Okay, interesting. Let's have your score prediction then for Thursday night's game, and it is a really late kickoff over there, isn't it? It's a 10 p.m. kickoff,
yes,
which is interesting stuff. I'm interested to see what the difference in the atmosphere is like, because I've not been to a 10 p.m. kickoff, I don't think, ever in all my years of going and watching Arsenal. So that should be interesting. How do you see Thursday's game going? Give us a prediction.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's going to be at 8 p.m. English time. It's going to be the same way it has been forever, because Olympiacos, Greek teams have been playing Champions League matches at 9:45 p.m. In the past. So it's going to be the same as we can all expect. It's going to be loud. It's going to be intense. It's going to be rather hostile. As I said, I just can't. I find it hard to believe Olympiacos won't at least create some very good chances. Arsenal will get some very good, are going to be good in the counterattack. I have a feeling the young players of Arsenal are going to do rather well because those are the kind of games that they see as a challenge and as a great opportunity to stand out and show what they can do. I expect something good out of Martinelli especially. But Arsenal are Arsenal. Arsenal are a Premier League team. They're one of the best clubs in the world. They are still the favorites. So in terms of a prediction, I'm afraid I cannot give you one, to be honest. But I do predict Olympiacos will score a goal. I do predict Arsenal will also get on the score sheet. Olympiacos do not want Arsenal to score a goal. That is the utmost goal for Olympiacos. We need to point out for your audience that Olympiacos haven't won the league for 2 straight seasons, and that is strange. It's like saying that Bayern or Paris Saint-Germain haven't won the league in 2 straight seasons. I mean, imagine what kind of conversations we'd have if that ever happens. And they're playing PAOK this weekend. PAOK are their league rivals. So Olympiacos claim they are not thinking about PAOK, and I want to believe this. But something tells me that there is a bit of stress in terms of that. I mean, the fixtures list is so unfortunate for Olympiacos. The points difference is at three points difference. But this season we have playoffs. The champion is going to be determined in playoffs. So even if Olympiacos lose to PAOK this weekend, it does not in any way determine the league. We're still going to play PAOK twice more in the playoffs, and PAOK have already lost twice. But Olympiacos do want to win the league. There's a rather strong rivalry with PAOK, so losing to PAOK won't be ideal. So Arsenal are the favorites, as I said. They're one of the best clubs in the world. They're a Premier League side. So if you include the upcoming game with PAOK, that makes Arsenal's job even easier because Olympiacos will give it their all against PAOK. So by the time the Emirates fixture comes up, Olympiacos might be rather tired.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's really, really interesting to know that because that is a huge game in Greece, as you know. Konstantinos, thank you so much, my friend, for joining me for this preview. Interesting to have a little chat and get some insight on Olympiacos. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, follow Konstantinos on Twitter. We'll be putting his Twitter handle in the description. And we'll be bringing you some more videos and some more content from Greece itself coming up on Thursday and Friday. So look forward to catching up with you guys then. Until then, take care, and we'll be back very, very soon. Ciao.